Well, we are live. How's it going, guys? My name is Jared Fuller. Today's date is Sunday, August 24th, 2025. Joining me off camera this week is my dad. Amy's out in the kitchen, and we're just chilling on a Sunday. I hope you're all doing well. Um, I don't really know what to talk about this week. I guess and my dog Luna, Luna Boona, sitting over there. So I really don't know what to talk about this week. I guess I just go, you know, whatever comes to mind, kind of off the cuff. So my chat is really empty. No comments again this week from chewing off my toenail. Usually I await his presence and his humor. But not this week again. He must be out and about doing whatever. Might be on vacation. I don't know. He might be back next week. I guess only time will tell. One person, Spinat, says, I'm currently at Massachusetts with my friend Roland, might show up. Well, Spinat, you're always more welcome to come back anytime. And as as a reminder, tonight is the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 103.9 The Fox. Dan had a rough week and a rough time recently, and I have no doubt that he's still going through some things, but he has decided to return to the airwaves tonight to do the Fox Sunday Flashback. And I hope you'll tune in. Just click on the link in the chat and then click or tap on listen live, and it'll take you right to the music. So, what's that? And show your love and support for Dan. Yeah, he's really had a rough go of things lately, and we love Dan and Georgianne. They're good people, and yeah, so it's great to have Dan back on the air. So I again, I don't really know what to talk about this week. Not really much happened, not that I'm aware. Um, what's that? What about him? That was 2 weeks ago. You guys are way behind. Uh, so I'm going to talk a bit about my ancestry for a minute, which I found to. Well, the wind is blowing things at me. I guess I could. Oh, that is way too much light. Let me close this window here real quick. 1 second, guys. So, um, I found out some ancestry, additional information on my ancestors, and it's on FamilySearch .org, and I've been finding out some information about my grandma Beulah. And this is really just incredible. Really interesting stuff. So my grandma Beulah, of course, she was born in 1925. She died in 1986 when I was just about to turn 3 months old. She was 61. I found out on FamilySearch that um, my grandma Beulah had siblings who were born back in 1894. It was her oldest sibling. Her name was Mary Dukes, and she would have been my mom's aunt. Born in 1894. Can you believe that? It still blows my mind because I'm thinking, you know, when I think of aunts and uncles, I'm thinking, okay, I have aunts and uncles who were born in the 40s and the 50s, and you know, I'm not thinking, okay, I have a great aunt who was born in 1894. Like that really is trippy. It's like, holy shit, really? Is this accurate? And so I signed up with an account on FamilySearch, and I've been going through and adding some information because I want to contribute my knowledge. And of course, I had to add my mom because mom wasn't included in that. So I had to include my mom, her birth date, her death date. And so a bit, kind of bittersweet. But it's interesting to know how far back my family, like, the records go back all the way to the 1800s. Um, my great-grandpa, Roland Dukes, he was Grandma Beulah's dad. He was born in 1875, died in 1941 during Pearl Harbor, the Pearl Harbor era. And his wife, Inez, which was my Grandma Beulah's mom, she was born in 1881 and died in 1931. So it is so fascinating, and it's just it amazes me how far back that the records go. Like, I have a great aunt who was born in 1894. Between between Roland and Inez, they had 9 children, and my Grandma Beulah was number 9 of 9 children. And then my grandma went on to have several children, and my mom was the last of all of her kids to be born, in 1962. That's when my mom was born. Um, and it is so fascinating how all of that comes to light. And when I think back to, like, like how I grew up, what my mom had learned from her mom, I can only imagine what my grandma had learned from her parents. Although her mom died when Grandma Beulah was only 5 or 6, and Grandpa Raleigh died when Grandma Beulah was about 15 or 16. So that would have been about 1941. So it's really incredible just to see the family history and how far back the records go. It's just, I don't know. It's breathtaking. That's too much light. That is too much light. Um, but yeah, in any event, I thought it was really cool because, like I said, when I think about, like, my great aunts, great uncles, I'm not thinking 1800s. That's a long fucking time ago. But it is fascinating. I think it is the coolest thing. And, for the past 3 or 4 days, we've been watching westerns, straight westerns, especially The Rifleman and High Chaparral and Gunsmoke. It makes me think about the times that my great grandpa Raleigh and great grandma Inez lived in. It makes me think about the times that they were born in, the times they grew up in, horse and buggy days. Um, and it makes me think about how life might have been for them back in those days. And I mentioned this on Facebook where my grandma Inez and my grandpa Raleigh, they got married when Grandma Inez was only 9 years old. Now, back in those days, there were no laws set in place, and she gave birth to her daughter Mary, which was my Grandma Beulah's oldest sibling, when Grandma Inez was only 12. And, according to today's standards, that's disgusting, it's foul, but back in those days, That's just that's how it was back then. There were no laws, there were no, um, age limits or restrictions. That's just how it was back in those days, and I think most people on my Facebook would generally and typically understand that, I'm not condoning this, I'm not saying that it's right, because we've built upon that, and now we outlaw that. We outlaw child marriage, I think. I'm pretty sure we do. And of course we outlaw, sex with kids and stuff like that. We can't be doing that. But back in those days, that's just how it was. That was life back then in the 1800s. And they got married on July 17th, 1900, right at the turn of the century. So it's just really fascinating stuff to learn. It's stuff, you know, really fascinating stuff to know. Um, but I'm just I don't know, for some reason, I've just been all about my family history and, you know, getting up to speed on that. I did a Google search, um, on my grandpa Raleigh Dukes, and, um, let's see here, I'll pull it up again just to kinda share with you guys some stuff that I found out about him. Yeah, he was born in 1875 and died in 1941. And they give like a brief overview of his life. He was born January 9th, 1875, died on August 13th, 1941. So on
When he died, my mom was born.
and when he died, yeah.
Your grandma was born.
Yep, when Ryland Lewis Dukes was born on January 9th, 1875, his in Jackson Township, Wood County, Ohio, United States. So my great grandpa was born in Ohio. His father, Uriah Anderson Dukes, be my great great grandpa, was 43, and his mother, Catherine Elizabeth Callahan, was 33. So Catherine Callahan was my great great grandmother. He married Ina Catherine Wilson on July 17th, 1900, in Ithaca, Gratiot County, Michigan. They were parents of at least 2 sons and 7 daughters. He lived in, of course, he lived here in America in 1920, in Summer Township in Gratiot County in 1930. He died on August 13th. Where did I see that? Oh, right here. He died on August 13th, 1941 in Riverdale, Michigan, Seville Township, Gratiot County, at the age of 66, and was buried in Sumner Cemetery, Sumner Township, Gratiot County, Michigan. So if I ever make it back over in the direction of Riverdale, I would like to actually find my great grandpa Raleigh Dukes. I want to find his gravesite.
That'd be cool.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So these are the kids that they had, and I know that many of you probably may not give a shit, but to me, this is fascinating. So Mary Catherine Dukes was born in 1894, died in 1968. Irma Almedia Dukes was born in 1897, died in 1952. Frances Alberta Dukes was born in 1903, died in 1922. So she was only 19, 18 or 19. Iva Emma Dukes was born in 1904 and died in 1953. Louis Anderson Dukes was born in 1908 and died in 1959. Jenny Dukes was born in 1912 and died in 1981. Aunt Flossie, not mom's sister, grandma's sister, Flossie Marie Dukes, which she would have been Burden, that's her married name. She was born in 1915 and died in 1997. John Arthur Dukes was born in 1920 and died in 1952. And then last but not least, Grandma Beulah Flowetta Leona Dukes was born in 1925 and died in 1986. Now, I had a cousin who lived over on Colvin Road out by Marion Springs. His name was Skip Sarakowski. He used to own the gas station in Merrill. I'm pretty sure that Jenny was his grandmother because she married Matt. I think it was Jenny. Let me see here. Let me read this information because I was trying to figure out how he was related. When Jenny Mae Dukes was born on April 5th, 1912, in Lansing, her father, Roland Dukes, was 37, and her mother, Ina Catherine Wilson, was 30. She married Maximilianus Franciszek Sarakowski. She married a Polish person on April 6th, 1927, in Ithaca, Gratiot County, Michigan, United States. They were the parents of at least 5 sons. She lived in Pontiac, Oakland County, Michigan, United States for about 10 years, and Hadley Township, Lapeer County, Michigan, United States in 1950. She died on September 5th, 1981 in Lapeer, Michigan at the age of 69 and was buried in Greenwood Cemetery in Hadley Township, Lapeer County, United States. So I'm wondering if she's the one who owned the country club out there in Metamora.
Might have been.
Because I remember mom telling me that we had an Aunt Jenny.
Yeah.
That was probably her.
Yeah.
She owned a country club in Metamora.
Metamora. Yeah.
I'll be damned. That just dawned on me.
Blows your mind.
Yeah, I mean, and of course they had 5 kids, all boys, all sons. Yeah, all Sarakowski, Walter, Carl, John, Max, and Robert.
I'd like to find out about my dad.
I know. It just blows my mind.
But Dad was supposed to have a brother out there.
Yeah, Grandpa was supposed to have had a brother. He said he had a brother, but we never talked about him.
Never said his name or
Yeah,
anything.
he says we won't talk about that. Well, why not? I'd like to know some more about my family. But this here on my mom's side of the family is just absolutely incredible. I mean, born in the 1800s. My great grandpa was born in 1875.
I have great uncles and aunts that were born in that time too.
Yeah,
And where Dad's buried.
Clarabelle, right?
across the road.
Oh no, Lakefield. Lakefield cemeteries were. Excuse me.
That goes back in the 1800s.
Yeah. Oh, out by St. Charles.
My dad's relative. I don't know.
Well, see where Grandma's buried at North Star, Grandma Beulah. There's a Clarabelle or a Clarabella Fuller. Clarabelle.
Right across from.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, is Clarabelle somehow related? See, I don't know. Her last name was Fuller.
I think that was my aunt
Might have been an aunt, like,
back in the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is incredible. I mean, there's a lot of just awesome family history. And I've been all over this all week. And it keeps my mind off stuff, other things. And it's cool. It's just interesting to find out, to learn about my heritage and where I came from. And I just didn't know I had aunts and uncles who were born in the 1800s. And of course, here, as it says, Roland Dukes married Ina Wilson.
Yeah.
He married Ina Catherine Wilson on July 17th,
I thought Dad was related to the Wilson.
1900 in Ithaca, Michigan. So my great grandpa was born in Ohio.
Yep.
And he died in Riverdale in 1941. That's incredible. I mean, death isn't incredible, but
That's incredible that you've learned about your ancestors.
it's just this is really just mind blowing. Now, my cousin Teresa, she was my Aunt Flossie's granddaughter, I believe, right? Teresa Jackson,
Yep.
because Frida was mom's cousin,
Yep.
and I think Frida was Flossie's daughter.
Frida lived in Flint, I believe.
Yeah, she lived in Flint, and Uncle Raymond and Aunt Flossie lived in Elmhall, out by Riverdale.
Owned that trailer park.
Yeah, yep. I
Owned
think,
that bar in Oakley.
yeah. Now, but see, Raymond Burden is not Teresa's dad.
No.
Teresa's dad was a Waldron, not a Burden. So she does all the genealogy for, like her mom's side of the family, which would be, her mom or her grandma, Flossie Dukes, and my grandma Beulah Dukes were, they were sisters. But Teresa, being my cousin, she does all the genealogy for mom's side of the family. And I am really just fascinated by all this information. So my great grandpa was born in Ohio, and my great grandma was born. Let's see, when Ina Catherine Wilson was born on July 29th, 1881, in Canada. So she's Canadian.
Canadian. Yep.
Ah, so I have Canadian roots.
I have Canadian roots.
I have Canadian roots on mom's side of the family. Her father, Francis Alexander Wilson, was 29, and her mother, Zephyrdata Catherine Davis, was 24. So there's another Davis family that this is two. Yeah. She married Roland Lewis Dukes on July 17, 1900 in Ithaca, Gratiot County, Michigan, United States. They were the parents of at least 2 sons and 7 daughters, which one of them was my grandma. She lived in United States, of course, in 1920 in Summer Township, Gratiot County, Michigan in 1930. She died on July 10th, 1931 in Sumner Township, Gratiot County, Michigan at the age of 49, and was buried in Sumner Cemetery in Gratiot County, Michigan. So they're probably buried next to each other. This is a trip.
Be cool to go around in places and find, you know.
So Ina is my great grandma. Her parents, Francis Alexander Wilson and Zephyrdata Catherine Davis, are my great great grandparents. Francis Alexander Wilson was born in 1852, Dad, and died in 1925. And Zephyrdata, my great great grandma Zephyrdata, was born in 1856 and died in 1917. And this is incredible. Like, they were all born in the 1870s and 1880s. I know, guys, I've taken up about 20 minutes of the Sunday video update talking about all this, but this is just cool. I love checking this shit out. I mean, this is my
People to do that, you know.
this is my heritage.
Do that, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, this is my heritage.
I'd encourage them to do that. Other people to do that. That way they find out.
Yeah.
Histories and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you should. It would be interesting for you guys to find out some information. Excuse me, sinuses. But it would be interesting, if you found out some information about your family. I find this to be incredibly fascinating. Like, I can't think of anything else that would just. It's just so cool. But I didn't think I had, aunts and uncles, like great aunts, great uncles, that far back down the line. But God, that is awesome. So, and other unrelated stuff. Gee, I don't know. What do we talk about? No, we really didn't have much of an eventful week. Pine Run out there, and where we go for the Monday flashback, they had a fundraiser for Dan Richards, who had lost his granddaughter tragically in a car accident. They had a where you request a song and you pay for the request. And Leah Williams was out there. She raised like $270. This past, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. So that money is going to go and help Dan Richards. And yeah, I don't know what's happening tomorrow night. They might. I don't know. Yeah, we didn't go out last week because Dan wasn't there. He was out of state, and but what's that? Yeah, he was taking care of family business, but he will be back on the air tonight. He made the announcement, and I shared the post on Facebook. I'm going to pull that up real quick and kind of read it to you. Let's see here. Let's see here. Where did I share that? Where did I see that? Do, 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 do. Right here. An update on my daughter Kristen and her daughter Cheyenne. Kristen has been moved from the ICU to a regular room, on track for a full recovery after rehab. Cheyenne remains in ICU, sedated with a breathing tube due to several injuries, including a concerning brain injury. Doctors plan to reduce her medication this week to assess her response, and we're grateful for your support and prayers as we navigate this journey, holding on to hope with our faith. Kristen, Isabel, Shayna, and Cheyenne. Isabel's the one who passed away. She tragically lost her life in a car accident.
I hope that person gets nailed.
Yeah, that's vehicular manslaughter.
I hope that
Um,
person gets what they deserve.
yeah, they
Sometimes
deserve everything and more coming to them because that's just
took a life of
awful.
a young child.
I mean, 12-year-old little girl, her life was cut short because of some idiot who wasn't paying attention.
She was
Um,
a cheerleader. She was a cheerleader.
yeah, she was a cheerleader. Um,
Pretty girl.
and there's nothing I could say here. There's nothing that anyone could say. I mean, although you could say a lot about this guy, but he has to live with the guilt of knowing that he took a 12-year-old child's life.
And hurt other ones.
And, well, no, just the one. Just the one died.
Yeah.
The 12-year-old died.
I mean, put the other ones through what.
But I'm talking about the one who died.
Yeah.
You took a life because of your reckless behavior. You have to live with that for the rest of your life. So there's nothing that any of us could say, and there's no punishment in the world that could ever top your own guilty conscience because you had claimed the life of a 12-year-old by driving recklessly and causing death. You got to live with that.
Hope he gets everything he deserves.
But, we'll see how that shakes out. I don't want to claim to know something I don't know, but in that regard, like, have that on your conscience. That's going to be on your conscience and on your heart for the rest of your life.
Hit somebody from behind and
I mean,
that when they're parked. Come on.
excuse me. Stupid sinuses. It's one thing to get in an accident knowing that you're the cause of it. But when you claim the life of someone, especially that of a child, that sits on your heart and it's on your conscience every single day. So there's nothing I can say here. There's nothing that any of us can say. There's no punishment that could ever be handed down by a judge or any kind of state legislature that would fit your guilty conscience that you live with on a daily basis. This is why, even like when I'm going through Chesaning, it's summertime, kids are outside playing, and they'll kick a ball around, or they'll play catch or whatever, or even they'll ride the bicycles down the street. And you know how kids are, they don't pay attention, and they do not like to follow the stop signs. They don't pay attention. So if I'm slowly driving, because it's Chesaning is a very highly residential area. So even if I'm driving down the street, I'm very mindful. I'm constantly watching, especially during summertime because the kids are out. They're out playing. They're enjoying summer because you never know when a kid is going to come darting out in front of you. Now, this happened even during the school year. If you remember, this was last year. We were coming up at the corner of 4th Street and Brady Street there by Little Caesars Pizza. And the high school's just, down the street from there. And the middle school is like right across from Little Caesars. Kids running out in front of us, not paying attention, not giving a second thought for the moments and seconds ahead. They're just darting right out in front of us. And, you know, people are honking their horns, and dad honked his horn, and
What is wrong with
it's like
you kids?
it's like, don't you kids ever pay attention? I almost hit you. I almost run you over. Yeah, I mean, dad's always, you know, we were both actually watching, paying attention, you know, because when the kids are out, you have to watch, you have to be mindful. And, you know, when they come darting out of nowhere, it's like, don't you pay fucking attention? You almost got hit by a car. And
And one kid did get hit by a car.
yeah,
Once.
yep. And her name was Melissa Priest. I remember she got hit by a car. We were in high school together, and she actually got hit by a car. And she survived, of course, but and yes, it's the same Melissa that
Yeah.
was in the hospital with me when we had cancer together. Um
And that was
and you know, even if it's the kid's fault, you're still gonna get in trouble
exactly.
for vehicular manslaughter should the child die. Now, the guy who hit Dan Richards' daughter and killed the granddaughter, I don't know what if he's. I would imagine at some point he would be facing some kind of charge for that.
Oh yeah, he probably
Um,
went to the hospital or he did.
they well when they did take him to the hospital, so
Yeah. So they got
um,
a police right
they
there.
drew blood. Of course, they're probably going to find something in his blood,
Yeah.
and
Narcotic or
like a narcotic or alcohol or whatever. He's going to prison.
I hope he gets what he did for his
He's going to prison.
gets what he deserves.
Because that's vehicular manslaughter. You're especially if you're under the influence.
He's got to sleep at night going through his head.
Yeah, that's on your conscience constantly.
It's gonna eat him alive.
Yep. Yep.
I'd never drive again, Jared.
No, me neither.
I would never
Well,
get,
I wouldn't drive.
I wouldn't get behind the wheel.
Even if I had the decision where I said, well, I'm not going to drive anymore. Well, the state's going to take care of that for you. Your driving privileges will be taken away,
Even on the accident, Jared.
and you'll be sitting in prison. So you're not driving
If it
anywhere.
wasn't your fault, I still couldn't drive.
Yeah.
That someone died.
Well, I'll tell you what, that night that I accidentally hit that guy's dog
Yeah.
with Amy's Dodge Neon,
Yeah, because that
I didn't want to drive after that.
dog.
It's like I never want to fucking drive again. I just killed someone's dog. And I realized too, the owner of that dog, the steward of that dog, was a real fucking prick. Yeah, the dog had a shot collar on. They were all drinking out in the barn, and they live right on M52, which is a busy highway, lots of traffic. The volume of traffic on 52 is really high because, you know, you got the intersection of M57 right there, and you got all the restaurants and the gas stations and stuff. And the guy was drinking, and the dog darted out, and I had not enough time to react, and I hit the dog, and the guy started being really abusive to the dog. He was punching it and kicking it, and my brother Jay told him, "You don't fucking kick and punch that dog. It's not her fault. She's your dog." It's like, motherfucker, you're the reason why that dog got hit because you weren't paying attention. The shot collar was not turned on. But I felt bad. I still felt bad. I came home and I cried like a fucking baby. I told dad, I said, I don't want to drive no more. I don't want my driver's license. I don't want to drive, take my keys. And it had taken me a while to realize, but it was not my fault. I didn't take my eyes off the road. I didn't look in the mirror. I was looking straight ahead because I was a designated driver that night.
Look what a squirrel does. A squirrel run out in front of you to stop.
Okay, if I'm the only one on the road and if I see a squirrel, I'll slow down or I'll swerve to miss it. And I know you're not supposed to swerve to miss animals because you can get a ticket for that. But yeah, I'm guilty of doing that. Like I swerve to miss animals. It's just because I got a big heart for animals. I don't want to hurt or kill an animal. Especially a rabbit or you know, a squirrel. I mean, they're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, although I did hit a woodchuck over here on Smith Road,
Okay.
um, over by Henderson. I was coming home, um, I was coming home from Charlotte because I went to get tickets for the, Country Music Hall of Fame award show, and, yeah, woodchuck was in the way. I didn't have enough time to slow down, and he was doing this number where he was going back and forth, and it's like, "You motherfucker, get out of my way or be hit." Well, he got hit.
Dan did a fabulous job.
Yeah, oh yeah, Dan Richards, he did a fabulous job for the Country Music Hall of Fame award show.
Him and George
Um,
that was great.
yeah, the Hee Haw skit.
Yep.
Where, oh, where are you tonight? Yeah.
I liked it when she said, "No, that's bad. Why? Because I use your credit card."
That's bad. No, that's good. How's come? Because I use your credit card.
That was funny.
And it was that night. It was on that night after the show because we didn't know.
No,
Dad and I were totally clueless. But after the show, or actually, it was during intermission. Dan says, "Well, I'm not going to be on the radio tomorrow night, and there won't be a Monday flashback out at Pine Run Inn." He says, "I'll fill you in on the details. I'll give you the scoop after the show." So we stayed for the rest of the show, which was great. And we stuck around for Dan, and we were standing like, because we had front row seats, and we were standing like between the seats and the stage, the edge of the stage. And Dan and Georgianne come walking up to the edge of the stage, and he says, "Well, the reason I'm not going to be on the radio tomorrow night is because I'm going to be out of town. My daughter and my grandchildren were involved in a serious accident, and one of them didn't make it." And when he said that, my heart dropped into my fucking gut, and I thought I was going to puke. But instead, when my heart dropped into my gut, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, "No." And I still feel bad. I still feel bad for Dan. Um, but I talked to him today, and he says that, one day at a time, they're trying to move forward, and but that's your flesh and blood. I mean, your grandchildren are very precious. They are the next generation, um, after you. Your grandkids are your future generations. And it was that night I just felt so terrible. Dad and I talked about it the whole way home, from Charlotte all the way back home. That's all we talked about was Dan and how heartbroken we were to get that news. And it was awful. It was just terrible. It's still awful. It's still terrible. Um, but I talked to Dan before I went live today, and he said that they're moving forward one day at a time, and they're hanging in there. They're remaining strong. They're toughing it out, and I don't know if Dan watches my live streams or not, but I don't want to continue on talking about this because he feels bad enough as it is having to go through all that. So I won't continuously and repeatedly talk about this unless, of course, he makes an announcement on Facebook every so often, and I'll check out what he has to say. And I actually shared his recent update. So yeah, it's tough food to chew when you lose someone near and dear and close to your heart. I do apologize for the coughing and the sniffling. It's my seasonal allergies are just kicking my ass today. Um, but I guess we can talk about something different. And there was something different I was going to talk about, kind of as a little reminder, because we've got about 20 minutes left in the show. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and I will be raising awareness to childhood cancer. I will be having videos posted on the Jared Fuller Show on YouTube. Make sure you go and subscribe. I don't know if I've actually done this yet, but I should probably drop a link to the Jared Fuller Show. So that way I can get some more subscribers over here on this channel. Let's see. So I'm going to drop a link to the Jared Fuller Show. Subscribe to the Jared Fuller. Whoops, not fucker. Jared Fuller Show. Fukker, not fucker. There we go. Subscribe to the Jared Fuller Show. There's a link in the chat there, so you can go in and check it out. But yeah, I'll be having some videos uploaded over on that channel talking about Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, sharing bits and pieces of my story. I'll probably knock out a few more videos here in a little while, and get those scheduled to appear next month. Yeah, we're going to have biscuits and gravy for supper tonight. Oh my gosh. And speaking of food, the other night, was it last night? Yeah, it was the other night. We had probably one of the best lasagnas I think I've ever had. I love lasagna. It was Stouffer's, and it was mozzarella. Oh, my stomach is but it was an awesome lasagna. I had like 2 plates full of lasagna. I have always loved lasagna, especially the way my mom used to make it. My mom learned from her mom, my grandma, how to make some things from scratch. And I remember when I was a kid, when we lived in the farmhouse on Chapin Road, my mom used to make the lasagna noodles homemade. She, with the egg and the flour and the rolling pin. I mean, she did it all. My mom knew how to cook. She knew how to prepare things, and I remember, sometimes she would use cottage cheese, but that was only if we didn't have ricotta cheese. And ricotta is what you would typically add to a lasagna. But either way, how mom made it, it was fantastic. And even when you put cottage cheese in lasagna, it's good. They make it like when you go to like baby showers, family reunions, things like that. Most people add cottage cheese to their lasagna, and typically it calls for ricotta or mozzarella or even parmesan. I've had parmesan lasagna, and that's good. It's just like eating spaghetti almost, because you got the parmesan cheese with the pasta sauce and the noodles, and I'm getting hungry. But yeah, that lasagna was just incredible. It was fantastic. Look at my dog. Look at Luna right there. She's just hanging her head over the arm of the couch, just minding her business, just chilling. Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on her. She's actually been doing pretty good since the boys passed on. And our friend Kelly had to have her dog put to sleep. Her name is Lena. And Lena had a host of health issues, so Kelly had to have Lena put down. We love you, Kelly. We're so sorry for your loss. We know the pain of losing animals, and 2:45 was Lena's appointment, and 2:45 was Barkley's appointment, and we're still having kind of a hard time not having the boys around, but Dad's still having a hard time. And every now and again, so do I. Yep, I'm always, every time I walk through here to go to the kitchen, I always look down because because he would blend in, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. I don't want to accidentally step on my boy, which I've done numerous times, and I'd feel so bad, and I'd have to get down and pet him and say, "I'm so sorry, baby, forgive me, please." And then he'd lick my hand. So it's like, okay, you forgive me. Okay. I didn't do it on purpose, but it's just a habit now. Like when I go walk through here and go to the kitchen, I'm looking down. because I'm so used to Barkley laying right there, and he blends in with the dark. And so, it's going to take a minute for us to kind of get used to that there is no one down there. And Luna, she's, white as a driven snow, as they say. And she sleeps in the most peculiar positions you could imagine. So we're not going to miss Luna. And it's not just the color, mind you. She has a very, very intimidating, ferocious bark and a growl. Amy came in from the camper because she's been staying out in the camper recently. And when Amy comes to the door, she quickly opens the door. Luna is ready to tear someone's fucking head off because she goes, and when she barks, it's like a howling bark. And it's like, holy fuck. And she shows her teeth at Amy. She like, she's showing her teeth at Amy and growling. It's like, Luna, that's mama. That's mom. Stop that. Yep, then she'll wag her tail. She'll shake her whole body and wag her tail. I came out of that bedroom the other day, last week, wrapped in a towel. Or no, a blanket. I was wrapped in a blanket. She don't like that. I found out the hard way. She does not like that because I came draped in a blanket, and she was sitting on the edge of that couch over there where Dad's sitting, but on the other side, and she was sitting there and showing her teeth and growling, and she was ready to attack me. And it's like, what the fuck did I do? Yeah, it's like, hey, it's like, hey, girl, that's enough. That's Jared. And I said, Luna, what are you growling at, Luna Boona? Because I call her Luna Boona, and she recognizes that it's me when I call her Luna Boona or Luna Girl or Lunatic or Luna Eclipse. But she was ready to attack me. She was ready to rip my fucking head off. But she is a good watchdog, and I'll give her that. Yeah. Who doesn't? But Luna is a good dog. She is a very good dog. And we have to really keep a close watch on her too, because sometimes we get packages from UPS and FedEx, and she'll want to go after the delivery guy. And it's like, you can't fucking do that. And it was a UPS truck was here one day, and they had a delivery for Amy, and Luna was tied up outside, and I had to stand on the porch, and he went to put the package down, and when Luna tried to lunge at him, he swatted at her because that's a quick reaction. If a dog's going to lunge at you, that's your first instinct. And he says, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swat at your dog." I said, "No, you don't have to apologize to me. She's got to learn, She is a good watchdog, but she has also got to learn that she can't be doing stuff like that." I'm thinking maybe she doesn't like people in uniform. Yeah, she don't like the animal control when they come out in their uniforms. But they don't come out here. Yeah, they'll have a treat in their hand, but they don't come out here, like, not to make it sound like they come out here regularly, because they don't. But yeah, they stop and ask how we're doing or whatever. They check on Luna. But we never have issues with Luna. And we never had issues with Barkley or Scruffy. No, we've never had issues with any of our animals with animal control. But they come out every so often because they know that we've suffered. Like we got a sympathy card in the mail from the vet, the ones who put Barkley to sleep. And it's like, wow, how many veterinary clinics do you know that will go out of their way to send a sympathy card? Who would be calling now?
Hello? I'm not bad. How you doing, Jimmy?
Oh, it's my stepdad, Jim.
You give me some,
He's been in and out of the hospital quite a bit himself. Um, sorry for the dead air. But yeah, he's been in and out of the hospital quite a bit. He has had a slew of health issues, and he's being closely monitored. Um, but anyway, getting back to the dog, I mean, yeah, Luna is a beautiful dog. I mean, she's a good dog. She's a watchdog, but she's also got to learn that she can't be going after people. We can't have that shit happening. So, we gotta try to teach her that that's unacceptable. Um, and she'll learn. She'll get the hang of it. She's still a pup. So, I mean, she's still learning and going by her instinct, which of course her instinct wasn't taught. It was that's just her being a dog. Um, so we are down to the last 9 minutes of the show, and I think Dad's gonna wait for me to get done with the Sunday video update, so I can ride uptown with him to get some stuff for biscuits and gravy for supper tonight. Were you gonna wait for me to wrap this up and then run up to Frank's with you?
yeah. What?
I can hear. She told you to let me know, which I can hear her tell you that you had to stop by Jimmy's.
Oh yeah. That's all right, Jimmy.
But yeah, Amy, I can hear you. No, you're good. You don't have to apologize. I can hear you.
You're good, Amy. Hey, you're good.
well, I mean, it's quiet,
Yeah.
and she's only sitting at the kitchen table. I can hear everything she's telling you.
That's her smoking
Um,
table.
huh?
That's her smoking table.
Yeah, it was once our kitchen table where we would eat. Um, but yeah, we got some stuff to do this week. I don't know what yet. I mean, it's starting to cool off.
Yeah, I know I gotta get that built.
Yeah, we definitely have to get the well house built, and we got to get a propane tank for it, to
Oh,
keep it warm during the winter.
I got a heat place and everything in
Yeah.
the kitchen.
Yeah, but I'm thinking I might want to invest in like a little propane tank or like a wall heater or something to go in there. Go with that.
Go on and off.
The idea that Elwood was saying,
Cold in there, then it'll come on.
it'll kick on by itself.
It'll warm it, shut off.
Yeah.
It'll keep it warm.
Yeah. So it won't catch fire. So yeah, we could have like a thermostat rigged up inside of it, like we have in here, but thermostats run on batteries. And we'll figure something out. We'll think of something, but we definitely have to get that well house built. We had all summer to do it, but the thing is, it was just so fucking hot, and when it gets so hot that you can't stand it, you really don't want to be doing anything outside, and so that's why we refrain from doing anything outdoors. Um, so we decided to hold off on that. Hold on just a second here, folks. Had to reply to something here. Okay, so back to my Sunday video update. I still got familysearch.org. I got the tab open. I am just really fascinated by all this family history. Um, it really just fascinates me. It really absolutely fascinates me. So, yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Because I mean, I understand at some point the family has to start somewhere, so it's going to trace back generations after generations after generations. And they preserve all those records all the way back to when records were first being kept. So that can go for decades and centuries. Who knows? Um, but what I know is I think it's pretty damn cool that um, I have great aunts and uncles. These aren't just, like grandparents born in the 1800s. These are my mom's aunts and uncles who were born in the 1800s, and my mom was born in 1962. So, I mean, you can imagine the time span between 1875 and 1962. Um, let me do the math here. 1962 and 1875. So, if Grandpa Raleigh would have lived long enough for my mom to meet him, he would have been close to 100 years old, close to, because he would have been 87 in 1962. But he died in 1941, so that was like 21 years that 21 years after his death, my mom was born. So mom told me that she never got to meet Grandpa Raleigh, and none of us did. Um, or Grandma Ina. We none of us got to meet her. But even with that being said, we did meet some of the, like my Aunt Flossie Dukes or Flossie Burden. She was she was my mom even said that, my Aunt Flossie, not my mom's sister Flossie, her Aunt Flossie, my Grandma Beulah's sister, she was a total bitch. Because I mean, she would spank my mom and my Aunt Anna over the dumbest shit you could imagine. Back in those days, I don't know if that was just the norm, but I think it had something to do with um, Flossie's upbringing. It might have had something to do with the upbringing too, because mom said that Grandma or Aunt Flossie Burden was a clean freak. So when you could so much as brush up against the refrigerator door, and she would whip your ass. She was just brutal. And I remember meeting her when I was a kid. They lived in Elm Hall at the trailer park, and I remember stopping in there. I think Jay was with us. But that was that was, I don't know, 35 years ago.
Make sure that you watch them so you don't get into nothing or touch anything.
That she said that to you?
Yeah. So I took him outside. I said, "Don't worry, he ain't touching nothing in this house." We walked out and got in the car.
You and Jay?
Yep. I took Jay outside, put him in the car with me. We sat in there, and your mom was in there. Then your mom said, "We can go."
Yeah.
Now her husband,
Raymond.
Loved him to death.
Raymond Burden.
He was a nice guy.
Yep.
A real nice guy.
Yeah. He was a really cool guy. I remember him. I remember Flossie and Raymond, but I remember Raymond more.
The other one, I helped him paint his house.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his name was.
But yeah, so I guess this week's Sunday video update was more about family history. And then after I end the show, I'm going to think, fuck, I should have talked about that. There's always next week, or I can just make random videos.
Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day is next week.
I think so.
I think it's next week.
So people will be going.
Yeah.
They're not racing next week.
Yeah. On Monday, I think it is. So anyway, well, that was a nice Sunday video update. It's already 4:00 Eastern time. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. I'll be back again next week for the final Sunday video update of August 2025. Dad, are there any words you want to add before we go?
Stay safe and watch out for each other and help each other.
Amy,
Peace out, be safe.
peace out and be safe. And I'll echo what they say. Look out for each other. Peace out. Be safe. I'll be back again next week. And I'm going to get back to some more of this genealogy stuff I got going on here. Although we got to run up to Frank's to get some stuff for supper because biscuits and gravy calling our name. So love you all very much. I'll see you next week. And toodaloo until then. Bye-bye.